What is going on YouTube? John the Laser Blue Junkie coming back at you again. First and foremost with some apologies to the LaserDisc Forever members who were looking forward to this video the other night, but unfortunately I am a parent and my 3-year-old decided not to go to bed early that night and I ended up passing out in the process, so we're finally getting the video done tonight, so like I said, I apologize for the slight delay. On top of that, you'll also notice in the description that this is not an update video, this is actually a collection video. This is actually going to be my second ever collection video, because as of this past Saturday, I finally completed the Universal Signature Collection LaserDisc set. I finally have every single North American release that ever came out, you know, from 1995 all the way up to 1999. This took about 6 years to get done. I never actually wanted to get this done, but when I found out that I had so many releases in my collection and I found out how far away I was from having everything, it just became a quest of getting like the last X amount of titles that I needed. So like I said, as of last Saturday, this set is completely finished. So we're just going to do a little collection video and start with everything I got. A little bit of history behind the Signature Collection. It was pretty much Universal's answer to the Criterion Collection, because, you know, Criterion has been around since like 84, 85, and, you know, they were like pretty much the first ever company that did full out special editions of, you know, motion pictures. So Universal decided, well, we have a bunch of movies in the vault, you know, we have a bunch of upcoming stuff, why can't we, you know, do the same thing? So, you know, on a lot of releases, they did do a standard version, but then if you ponied up a little more money, you got a better, more deluxe edition that had, you know, like extended cut, or it had a documentary, it had behind the scenes still photos, had everything. So, you know, it was, they actually did want to tap into the collector's market of film lovers, of people who actually cared about the type of movie they were watching. So, I mean, like I said, most of the time you could get a standard edition, but a lot of people did go for that, you know, big special edition. Not to also mention, they did like to re-release a couple of their older films that, you know, when they first came out, the transfers weren't that great, so they just went ahead and gave it a brand new transfer, like a brand new soundtrack. So, but anyway, we'll get started with the very first ever Signature Collection release that ever came out, and that was Dragon, the Bruce Lee Story. This is actually a really good film. This is one of the last LaserDiscs I got, believe it or not. Like, this wasn't one of the ones that I got, you know, a long time ago. I got this one fairly recently, I think sometime this year. But yeah, I've been needing to get this one in the collection. I do have this on Blu-ray, but, you know, it is a phenomenal film. It is very far removed from Bruce Lee's life, but I do enjoy the hell out of this movie regardless. So, excellent film. Now, one movie that, I don't know why it belongs on the Signature Collection, but, I mean, it's a good movie anyway. I mean, at least to me, because it's like, it's schlock as all hell, and I enjoy those bad movies. We have Street Fighter with Jean-Claude Van Damme. I do have this on Blu-ray because I'm a big Jean-Claude fan. So the documentary on this is really cool. The supplementals are awesome, but, you know, the movie itself's kind of meh. But hey, it is what it is. You know, it is what it is. One of my favorite special editions. I actually found this at a half price for like $3, and I couldn't believe I found this. Was got the Jaws, you know, Signature Collection Special Edition. This actually is complete. It has the soundtrack and it has the novel. I believe the soundtrack is actually still sealed, never been opened. So this is a great set. You know, this there was a second set of the Jaws. I'm going to put that down for a second. They did do a second pressing that came out later. That one I do not have, but, you know, it doesn't technically count because I don't need it. The second set, what that one did was, this set has the movie in full CAV format, and then you have the big documentary, and then, you know, all the cool supplements. On the smaller box set, the movie was in CLV format, except for the last half that was in CAV format. So, you know, it was pretty cool, but once I got that, that was a great upgrade, so there you go. One of my all-time underrated favorite 90s flicks, Tremors. Freaking adore this movie to death. Saw this with my parents back in the day. If you haven't seen the new one, A Cold Day in Hell, great movie. Check it out. I actually like that one a lot more than the prior one, Bloodline. So, yeah, Tremors, great movie. One of another good underrated Steven Spielberg classic here, 1941. This was an eBay purchase from a long time ago, but such a great movie. You know, very underrated. I love the I love the practical effects work in these. The miniatures are freaking incredibly good. Another movie, saw this one with my parents. Good old Field of Dreams. This is probably one of my all-time favorite baseball movies, if not my favorite baseball movie. So, you know, the end gets me a little bit every time. So, just a great film in general. Next one up here, we have Apollo 13. I think I found this at a half-price books a long time ago. But, yeah, great movie. Killer AC3 soundtrack, by the way. So, great movie. All right, next one up. This is probably, like, my most rattiest of the rattiest looking ones in the bunch, but the discs are in great condition. It's just the outer box is a little iffy, and that is my second favorite film of all time, Scarface. I'm not going to tell you why it's my second favorite film. It's just an incredible film. Pretty much still my favorite Al Pacino performance to this day. I have this movie on countless formats. I've owned it on several formats. Still a great film, but still the best way to watch it on any home video format is LaserDisc, because that actually has the original PCM stereo mix, whereas the Blu-ray and the DVD are all in a lossy format. And that 5.1... They did a 5.1 remaster for it, which is complete and utter trash. I can't stand that 5.1 remaster, so if you want to hear it the best way it was intended to be heard, got to get it on LaserDisc. You can get there is another widescreen version with the digital audio, just as good. So it's just in CLV format. This one, I remember I picked this sucker up about maybe 3 years ago from a guy out in Downers Grove, but he only sold this to me for $10. E.T. the Extraterrestrial. This is complete. It has all the discs. I think it has the soundtrack in here. Not 100% sure, but it is complete. One of the discs was still sealed when I got a hold of it, so I'm not going to show the back. There's nothing there. There was something posted to the back, but I have it inside the box. So this is an excellent box set. One of the main reasons to get this is because it does have the deleted scene that does feature Harrison Ford as the principal of Elliot's school. This one, I remember exactly who I got this sucker from. I got this from... oh God, I can't never remember. It's Kevin Grosky. I got this from him. Dragonheart, great movie. Have this on Blu-ray, DVD, HD DVD, every format imaginable for this movie. Complete and utterly great film. If you haven't seen Dragonheart, check it out. Probably next coming up, my favorite Terry Gilliam flick. Little half-price books find, 12 Monkeys. All-time favorite Terry Gilliam film. Next up would be Fear and Loathing, but I love 12 Monkeys. This is one of those movies that really needs a remaster on Blu-ray, because the current Blu-ray looks terrible. This needs like a brand new 4K scan. But yeah, 12 Monkeys, phenomenal film. Check that one out. One of a great Alfred Hitchcock movie. Got this one on eBay, if I remember. That would be Vertigo. Great movie, underrated, Alfred Hitchcock movie. I do love Psycho, but I'd say this is probably in the top 5. Vertigo is a great movie, but I've always been a Psycho fan more than anything. Always preferred The Birds, North by Northwest, but Vertigo is a killer freaking movie. So if you haven't seen Vertigo, check it out. This one I picked up recently off of eBay, Daylight. Again, have this on Blu-ray, HD DVD. A lot of people didn't like this movie when it came out. I actually love Daylight. It's a great throwback to the old disaster movies of the 70s. So, again, this is a great film. If you haven't seen Daylight, check it out. Easily like one of the most underrated, Sylvester Stallone performances. This next one, I got this also from Kevin Grosky. Got the Dante's Peak. Out of the 2 volcano films that came out this year, in 1997, let me rephrase that correctly, Dante's Peak was the much better film. Pierce Brosnan and Linda Hamilton, incredible in this movie. So, yeah, awesome freaking film. Have this one again, HD DVD, Blu-ray, whatever. I don't even know I can't even remember if it came out on HD DVD, but I do have it on Blu-ray. So, this one, I remember exactly who I got this one from. My good old buddy Kevin Michael Stewart got me Liar Liar. Another film I have on countless formats. Great Jim Carrey movie. Saw this in the theater 3 times when it came out. Was really happy to get the signature collection of this one when I got it back in the day. And I remember who I got this one from. Hey, good old half-price book. Still factory sealed. This was one of the first signature collection titles I ever got. And that's The Jackal. Not a great movie by any stretch of the imagination, but it was really cool to find this for $2 at a half-price book. So it's been sealed like all these freaking years. So next one up, we have this one I got recently from an eBay lot, To Kill a Mockingbird. I will tell you right now, I'm not a big fan of this movie. I was never a big fan of the book. A lot of people love this movie. Now, it's not that I it's not, I don't want to say that I don't have a horrible taste in movies. I haven't seen this movie in over 20 freaking years, okay? I haven't seen this movie since 1997 when I was a freshman in high school. You know, it's been that freaking long. I remember having to read that book. I couldn't freaking stand it. I remember watching the movie in class. I couldn't freaking stand it. I thought it was so boring. But you know what? My tastes have changed over the years, so maybe I will give this another chance. We will see. So, something to watch again in the future. Next one up, I got this from Miss Maxine Davlin. Not sealed, but it's been opened, but who cares? For Richer or Poorer, have not seen this movie, couldn't tell you anything about it, although I do know this is one of those movies that really doesn't deserve to be in the Signature Collection because they didn't even do a signature, like a special edition DVD of it. You know, it's like, it was weird how they did a special edition LaserDisc, but they didn't even do a special edition DVD, so it was pretty messed up. But at the same time, this did come out around the time that DVDs, you know, were starting to take over, so it was like the last gasp of LaserDisc. If I remember who I got this one from. Again, this is a name I haven't dropped in a very long time. I got this from Luis Munoz, if you remember who that is. But yeah, Psycho, the original, the best, my favorite Alfred Hitchcock movie. Like, still one of my all-time favorite slasher movies. I love Psycho to death. I've had it on countless formats. This movie never gets old, never gets boring. Such a phenomenal film. I remember when I was tracking this one down on LaserDisc, it took a while to get it for a really good price. Now, this one right here is... There were two that I spent a little bit more on than I wanted to. This one I remember I got off eBay. But it is literally, this is the hardest Signature Collection title to find. This is damn near impossible to find. And I remember when I found it, I was getting it. There was no way I was going to lose out because this is like one of my all-time favorite 80s films. This was a movie I grew up with consistently. And that is, of course, The Last Starfighter. Awesome, awesome movie. Was so happy when I won this in auction. I think this cost me a little over $50. But I was so glad to have this. Now copies are still going for even more. I think like they go for like $75, $100. So 55 was, or 50 was a great deal for this. But yeah, this was this kind of kickstarted me into. This was the title that kickstarted me into wanting to complete this collection because I knew that this was like the hardest one to get. And when I got it, it was like, okay, well everything else is easier to get by contrast. So maybe I should just, you know, go for broke and get this thing completed. But like I said, finally got it complete. So yeah, that was the catalyst. I picked this up, actually, most recently from Jared Heimovitz, if I'm pronouncing that correctly. The Boxer. Haven't seen this one. This was a holdout title for me. This was one of the last ones I needed to get. I didn't care about the movie that much. I hear it's good, but like I said, I got this to complete the collection. Also got this from Miss Maxine. We have Blues Brothers 2000. Great underrated movie. I don't care what anyone says. Yes, we miss John Belushi. Yes, we miss him, but you know what? It was a decent sequel. John Goodman does the best he can, and the songs in this movie are freaking amazing. So, yeah, good film. And another one from Miss Maxine. Again, this was another holdout title. This is one that you find anywhere and everywhere. I have seen this out in the wild several times, but I've never picked it up because I had no interest in the movie whatsoever. But again, I need to start, you know, doing more eclectic things with my movie watching. So, The Apostle with Robert Duvall. Again, never seen it, but I've seen it out in the wild several times, just never picked it up, but got it now, so there you go. This one was this was either a eBay or a LaserDisc database purchase. I want to say this was an eBay purchase. I think I got this along with another title you're going to see later on, but yeah. John Carpenter's The Thing. Did not spend too much for this. This normally goes now for about $50-$60. You know, I think I probably spent less than 20 for it, so I was really happy to get this one. I got that one back in the day. Pretty much, dude, like, this and Halloween are like the two best John Carpenter films, you know, like, The Thing is just one of those movies that it grabs you, it never lets go, it keeps you guessing near the end. I have, if you've noticed on my channel, I've done a review on The Thing. I need to do another review on the Arrow 4K Blu-ray that came out. I have owned this movie so many times over. It is just a classic. You know, they could do an 8K scan from the negative and I'd freaking buy it the next day. You know, it's like, it's The Thing. It's one of the best movies ever made. So, this one I got from Kevin Michael Stewart, and that was The Blues Brothers. Mine and my dad's, mine and my dad's, my father who passed away about a year and a half ago. One of our favorite films we like to watch together. He actually took me to see Blues Brothers 2000 in the theater, but this was a movie we'd always watch on TV every time it came on. Me representing Chicago, you know, I've been to the locations where they've shot this film. I was actually on Lower Wacker Drive the other day, so yep, I knew all about that. This one, now this is one of those I can't even remember who I got this from. I want to say I got this off eBay, so I'll just say I got this off eBay. American Graffiti, great freaking movie. One of George Lucas's best films ever. I have a copy of THX 1138 coming in soon, but yeah, American Graffiti, such a great movie. If we didn't have this, we would have never had Happy Days. So, this one, same thing, another eBay purchase, couldn't remember, or I may have bought this from a group member. You know what, I did buy this from a group member, but I can't remember who, so I'm not even going to try to think of the name, but I know I bought this from a group member. Animal House, again, another John Landis classic. Great freaking movie. Have this on Blu-ray, HD DVD. Owned it on DVD several times over. One of the absolute hands-down funniest films ever made. John Belushi's career-defining role. So there you go. Awesome freaking movie. Now, this was the other movie I ended up getting along with The Thing. And this one, I couldn't believe. The last copy of this sold for $100, and I only paid $10 for this in auction. Was The Frighteners. Saw this movie right when it came out. Freaking adored the hell out of it. I couldn't believe it took forever to get the director's cut on a DVD. I remember, like, you could only get it on LaserDisc for a while, and then one of the reasons I got a player was so I could get the director's cut, and then the director's cut came out on DVD, and it was kind of like, oh god, you know. But now I've got, like, this on Blu-ray, HD DVD, LaserDisc, every format imaginable. So Frighteners, great movie, one of Peter Jackson's most underrated. This one, another half-price book's fine, but pick this one up really quick. One of the best Elmore Leonard, you know, film based out of his books, whatever you want to call it. Out of Sight. Phenomenal freaking movie. I am not a big Steven Soderbergh fan, but you know what? This is a great movie. I like the little cameo by Michael Keaton in it. You know, this and Jackie Brown are like probably like the two best, you know, adaptations of Elmore Leonard's work ever. I do like Get Shorty a lot, though. That's a great movie, too. Got this one from Maxine the other day. Never seen this one, but again, this was a holdout title because I never wanted to see the movie, so it was a big freaking holdout title for me. Fried Green Tomatoes, couldn't tell you anything about it, but I know a lot of people like this movie. So, and this is one of those signature collection titles that goes for a little bit of money because it's a late release. So, I guess I can say I'm finally glad to get it, but at the same time, I've never seen it, so I couldn't tell you anything about it. I remember exactly who I got this from. I think it was Alex Botchko sold me this bad boy. I got this for dirt freaking cheap. I don't know how or why I got it for dirt cheap, but bad movie, but I didn't want to pay a lot for it. The remake of Psycho. Yeah, I saw it in theaters, I ain't gonna lie, and I don't hate the movie. You know, I think Vince Vaughn did a great job, but the movie was completely and utterly unnecessary, never needed to be made. So, there you go. This one I just picked up recently off of eBay. Ultimate Shopping Center. Patch Adams. Saw this in theaters. I like the movie. So far removed from Patch Adams' original biography, but Robin Williams saves it, makes it a passable film. So I enjoy it for that reason. This one member who is no longer with us traded with me for this bad boy. This is the second to last Signature Collection title, and one movie that really didn't deserve to be in the Signature Collection, and that was Ed TV. Never seen it. Got it to start completing the collection. I think if I didn't say who it was, Ren Heitman gave this to me. We traded this and Jake Speed for a couple other movies. But yeah, I think I did show this off in one of my last update videos. But Ren got me this, and I needed it to complete my Signature Collection. And last, but certainly not least, the final Signature Collection title that ever came out. And I remember who sold this to me. Mr. Kai Wiesner sold this to me for a 50 spot. But I was more than happy to pay the money for it. And that was The Mummy. Saw this in theaters back in the 90s. Love this movie to death. Mummy to Returns is a pretty decent sequel, but nowhere near as good as this. Everybody in this movie is funny, and the director of this, you know, I can never remember his freaking name. Stephen Sommers, you know, he did The Jungle Book, he did Odd Thomas, you know, and of course my all-time favorite movie that he did, Deep Rising. So Stephen Sommers' stamp was all over this, so yeah, great movie. So there you go, guys. There is your collection update. It didn't take as long as I thought. There weren't a lot of these, but believe me, some of these movies were a pain in the butt to track down. But I'm proud to say my Signature Collection is complete, and I was glad to share it with you guys for, 20 minutes or so you guys hear me talk about it, blah, 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 blah. But anyway, next on the update front, I'm waiting on a couple of titles to come in from Japan, and my buddy Jeremiah has some stuff coming in for me as well in the next couple of weeks. So we'll probably get an update video shot here in about 1 to 2 weeks with the rest of the stuff I'll be getting in the mail soon. So on that note, take it easy, guys. Thanks for hanging out with me. And as always, do what I do. Keep it spinning. Talk to you later, guys. Bye-bye.